guys, before we get to the best movies of 2015, I thought I would go ahead and do my most surprising movies of 2015. Now, for a movie to be into this category, I had to go into this movie with very low expectations or no expectations at all. I thought I would come out of this movie thinking this was going to be a bad film, but I had fun with it, so my expectations were really low and I came out happy. Alright guys, I have 10 movies that I thought were very surprising because I had very low expectations for them. The first film on the list is Spy. Now, I do not like Melissa McCarthy at all. I really didn't like I didn't really like the movie she did with Jason Bateman. I just think she's a person that overdoes a lot of things. If you see that fat clown that people make fun of, she makes fun of herself and it gets boring quickly, and I wasn't excited for Spy at all, and I came out of the movie laughing so hard. I think that had to do with a lot with Jason Statham, but I also did like Melissa McCarthy in here. She was pretty funny, so I think that Spy was very surprising because Melissa McCarthy, I don't really care for her, but here, I did. Pitch Perfect 2 is another surprising film. I didn't really care for the first film, and I don't see why the hype was so real for that movie, and people just love this movie and the best film ever. But the movie was fun. The songs were catchy, it was funny, the characters were good, and overall I had a good time with it. Another one is a big surprise, because I remember going into this movie thinking this movie's gonna be bad, this movie's gonna be bad, it's gonna be cheesy, it's gonna be stupid, but I loved this movie, and that's The Intern. I don't know, The Intern was such a warm-hearted film, and I really, really liked it, and I cannot wait to watch it again because Robert De Niro portrayed this guy that's so warm and you want to be around him. You just want to hear everything. This kind of the person that you want him to read you a bedtime story because his voice is so soothing in this movie. Another big surprise was Sisters. I laughed so hard in Sisters. I thought that Amy Poehler and Tina Fey had great chemistry. They always do previously, but here, I don't know, I wasn't really looking forward to it because I don't really care for Tina Fey that much. Amy Poehler is great in Parks and Rec. It just looks like it was going to be a stupid December comedy release. But it was much more than that. I laughed a lot. John Cena's a few scenes in here were funny. The party scene went on and on and on, and Amy Poehler and Tina Fey's comedy acts went on and on and on for a while, and it was fun to watch. Another one that's surprising, and I'm so happy it's so good, is It Follows. I've only saw a couple trailers before watching It Follows, and I thought it was just going to be some cheesy, low-budget horror film release at the beginning of the year. You know how they are. But this film was so subtle, so creepy. It had me on the edge of my seat for the whole entire film. This is one of the best horror films I saw last year, maybe the year before, because we don't really get any good horror films. This one was really good. It wasn't your typical gory, scary horror film. It was subtle, and it knew how to get underneath my skin, and I loved It Follows. The Martian is another surprising movie because Ridley Scott's previous films of Exodus, Gods of Kings, and The Counselor just thought were really, really bad, and I was a bit worried that Ridley Scott has kind of lost his touch, but no, he is back in good form with The Martian. The Martian was a hilarious film, surprisingly a hilarious film. And Matt Damon just was so good in this role. Next is Steve Jobs. Now, Steve Jobs, I think I had a little more expectations than these other films because the Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs movie wasn't that good, and I thought, you know, if they did the whole movie again the same way, what's going to be different about this? How are you going to make me want to see this film? How are you going to make me love it? And they did just that. The movie is like a 3-part act, and it's shot beautifully. You don't have to have a setup of who Steve Jobs is or how he found Apple. Just place him into big events in his life, and that's what makes this film different than Jobs. And that's why I love Steve Jobs. It's one of my favorite films of the year. The Gift is another surprising film because watching the trailers, Joel Edgerton looked kind of funny in it with his earpiece, and I just thought it was going to be your, you know, typical thriller, and it was really good. I really liked Joel Edgerton and Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman played not himself, which I think made me love this film a lot more. Rebecca Hall was great as always. I love her. She's a beautiful actress. But the relationship between Joel Edgerton and Jason Bateman, you know, he had a past to it. But I love that I spent like the whole entire movie trying to figure out what is going on, because we know that there's something there, but we they haven't given us enough clues, and I love trying to piece everything together. The End of the Tour was surprisingly a really good film. I had no expectations for it. I just thought it was going to be another film that's just going to pass by. But the acting from Jason Segel and Jesse Eisenberg was terrific, and their chemistry was some of the best chemistry I've seen this year. And the last surprising movie on this list is Goosebumps. Now, I was a bit excited for Goosebumps, but sitting down and watching all of the old Goosebumps shows, all of them, I sat down and watched every single one of these. I was not looking forward to Goosebumps because it looked too childish, too fun, and the 90s Goosebumps show was dark for a kid's show, and it was a bit creepy at times. And I wanted that vibe in the new Goosebumps movie. But the new Goosebumps movie still managed to be really good and really fun. And I loved it. And it's a film that I've seen twice. And I want to watch it again, to be honest. I want to watch Goosebumps again because it was just a fun film. And, you know, I kicked myself thinking, you know, I want to like this film because it's going to be fun. And it is fun. And I loved it. So Goosebumps surprised me. Alright guys, so these are the movies that I thought were surprising, went into them with little or no expectations, come out thinking these are great movies, I can't wait to watch these again. Check back soon for my most disappointing movies where I had high expectations and I came out thinking this was bad. I got some films on there that I'm kind of ticked that they're pretty bad. So this is Just Watch Movies. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Just Watch Movies for more lists like the disappointing list and the best one that's coming soon. It's got a couple more movies to watch. This is Just Watch Movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.